Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second part of this week's Copenhagen Dreaming. We are on the beach, but no drinks and no bikinis and no bath trunks.
Is
Basically,
what we get for a beach episode?
What?
I asked, is this what we get for a beach episode?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, this is not the beach episode I wanted. Where's the skimpy outfit? Where's
This
the
is our
party?
edition of Ibiza.
I hope not.
Well, that's in any case. This is you've seen some things. Obviously, you've heard some things. What do?
I think Jonas stares blankly at the spot where his grandfather's image was before.
You okay, dude? He lands beside him.
How could the Duke be friends with such a monster?
As far as we understood on the Duke, he wasn't actually this bad when they started being friends. It was something that happened later.
You can't hide something like that, can you?
There are all kinds of reasons why you might stay friends with someone like that. First, obligation or necessity, or even the hope that they'll change again.
Or just not had the opportunity to show that side of him.
Yeah, before... I mean, they hadn't actually been at war before together, right?
Not as far as I remember.
No.
But yeah, like, war tends to bring either the worst or the best out in people. Like, the extremes.
Well, that was certainly extreme.
It wouldn't have been the first time in history that a leader lets loose some kind of a psycho on the world.
Nope.
I suppose it won't be now. He takes a few deep breaths and looks at the others. All right, what else do we need to investigate?
We talked about seeing both sides of the story or all sides of the story. So, what do you think if we can figure out what's actually going on in the commoners' camp?
They're being burned alive by a dragon.
But their commander would be nearby, right?
We can look around.
Yeah.
What about some of the things that Bloody Alice said? Remember when we had Bloody Alice in at court for?
Yeah, but specifically, she said a lot of shit.
No, I mean like about the war stuff that the Duke did.
Yeah, but as the Duke said, see both sides of the war. I have a feeling she was only shown one side.
Yes, I was just thinking where to go to confirm or the opposite of these things. Like where could we actually find the situation she was referring to see what is actually happening.
Maybe if we can find another pocket like the one we just found somewhere else on the beach, we might learn more.
Do you think we can sense them?
If not, we can see them. Little ripple thing?
You could try giving me a kenning plus perception.
Oh, yes.
Yes, let's
I can
find
whip out Ganesha as well. He can do that fairly reasonably well.
Well, I certainly don't.
Kenning plus...
Nope. That's no successes from Jonas.
So it was Kenning plus what, sorry?
Perception.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just keep my mouth shut then, because Kenning, what's that?
Oh, for God's sake!
Holy shit! All the ones.
Someone doesn't want
I
us to
got
find
one,
anything else.
at least. I had 6, 6, 3, 1. So if
Yes.
6 is enough, I actually have 1 success.
We still need to see Agnes roll. There we go. That's better.
Yeah, that's much better.
That is good for you guys because it required 3 successes, and she's the only one who gets it.
Hold on.
So
Nice one.
Yeah, my dog knows investigation. He doesn't know killing. He's like, what?
Let me just do something. Yes, I'm gonna. Is it alright if I also roll for Ganesha?
yeah, of course.
Da, 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 da.
There we
Jesus.
go. Ganesha as well.
Yes.
So
It's bad. It's bad when the little bronze statue sees more than you do.
yes, and
But he knows where to look, so it's fine.
Yep. Agnes and Ganesha, between the two of them, you find another pocket. This one is much, much smaller.
And where's it located compared to where we...
Almost you have to walk almost half a mile down the beach. You're literally at the opposite end of the battlefield.
Guys, I think there's something down there at the opposite side of the beach. There's this sort of shimmering that we saw before. Should we go check it out? Should we plan a route where we could find as much information as possible?
That's a good idea, Agnes.
I don't know if this has already been asked. I'm just being dense. But is there anything worth picking up around this area? Equipment, weapons, the like.
No.
Okay.
As I said, it's except for the tattered old tents and the banner that's completely worn away. This is it literally is just a beach when you look at it. Except you can visualize what happened here.
Fair enough. Okay.
So you get to the other end, or
Yeah, let's go down there, and then before we use any more glam on that, maybe I should just play around with the Cronus.
Won't it be easier once you know what to look for?
Probably, yeah, but instead of all of us spending a lot of glam on this, let me see if I can do anything.
Sure, go ahead.
you can get something, and what you see is instantly terrifying. Okay, what you saw on the other, with the first of these visions, if you want to call them that, was the equivalent of watching something on a 58-inch widescreen television. Whereas when you use Cronus, it's the equivalent of holding an iPhone 5 in your hand, screen size wise. But
Yes.
what you get out of Cronus here is something very, very large, black, and scaly.
Oh, I think we need to use the glamour on this one. If I'm not wrong, it's maybe the lady in her dragon form.
Oh. Right, let's do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Jonas
Emma.
Spencer.
Away.
Agnes as well.
All of you do?
Yep, up to the requisite
Yes.
5 again.
And what happens again is exactly the same thing. It blows out, and yes, you are in fact looking straight up at the full force and fury of the lady, and she is looking at the Duke standing right in front of her. And I mean, she could reach down and gobble him up. If she wanted to, she could just, lean down and numb him, because yeah. But he looks up at her and says, "You have to stop him. You've got to stop him. This has gone too far. This is not what I wanted. This is never what I wanted." And I can't stop him on my own, not as long as he's mounted on that monster. Put an end to it. And the lady leans her head slightly to the side and goes, "Oh, that should be the simplest thing in the world. But why would I? What's in it for me?" And the Duke goes, "I don't care what you want. I do not want genocide. This is a war. This is a legitimate war. I do not want genocide. They are innocent people. They may be my enemies, but I don't want them to die needlessly. What do you want?" And the lady goes for a moment and thinks, and she says, "Well, obviously what I want is power. What I've always wanted is power. It's very simple. Share and share alike. You give me what is rightfully mine, and I will remove your problem." And he goes like, yes, whatever, just stop him before it's too late. And the enormous dragon chuckles and goes, "Oh, sometimes it is so easy to make deals with your kind little she. When you are under pressure, you break like everyone else. Wait right here. I shall remove your problem for you." And then she takes off. And you see the Duke falling to his knees, clutching his face. Whether it's in shame or in fear or in agony or a combination thereof, you can't tell.
Is it possible to see if this is before or after he got struck by the spear?
It's definitely after. The armor that he's still wearing has a hole in it where the spear struck him. He's been healed, but it no doubt took him out of the fight for a little while.
Is it possible still to see the lady?
No, she flies out of the area covered by the vision. And it fades on him falling to his knees.
It was true. The rumors were true.
So he asked her to stop Kindle because he couldn't stop him while he was on Kindle.
And gave her some...
He gave her power. But I'm wondering what kind and where.
I mean, the way it was worded, you could basically demand anything in return.
I wonder if she did.
Exactly, he was not very cautious, he was desperate. It was not like the Duke we know.
No.
But after what we've heard, what she's actually pissed about is the loss of her children at the moment. How did that factor into all of this?
Maybe he took action to stop her from getting what he promised. Maybe that involved her eggs.
Or maybe Kindle's rider got pissed and retaliated against her.
If that were the case, why would she hold it against the Duke?
Maybe it's...
Because it's the Duke she made the thing with.
I suppose.
We don't know until we actually see proof of it.
All we know is that the lady went off to stop Kuss and Kindle. We don't know what that involved yet.
I'm wondering what could be rightfully belonging to a dragon that changelings could have taken.
That's a very good question.
Well, we've been under Swedish rule Faye, at least. And she's been in the Swedish area, at least, according to others. She hasn't been in Denmark for a while. I don't actually remember where she's originally from.
I think we were told that she was from Jutland.
Oh, yeah.
Then maybe he had ties to something over there that she wanted back or something?
Maybe
Or-
she wanted Jutland.
Yeah, just the land back.
Could be. We don't really know until we see proof of it. I mean, we could ask him, but I don't know if he'd actually tell us what he promised the dragon.
No.
Probably not.
I mean, he was the one who suggested we come in here and find things out.
Yeah, but it's like these things have been hidden.
Not so much anymore.
Maybe he actually doesn't remember.
You think someone made him forget?
No, I mean, if you hide memories in the dreaming, and he suggests that we go look for it, and we very conveniently discover memories concerning the Duke, wouldn't it be, that he wants us to know, but he can't tell us either because he doesn't know or can't tell for some reason?
That
It's a
would be
possibility.
yeah. Assuming he can't tell us, then this would be the best way to show us, or get us to at least know what's going on. But that's assuming a whole lot.
Yeah.
That's true. It was just because, these are the only specific things we've seen that might be what he would refer to.
It would be easier if we knew where her eggs were. Then perhaps we could witness something there.
You see who actually murdered them.
Or if we could see what happened when she confronted Ivar.
Well, she flew up in that direction. But we don't know if they're still on the beach at this point.
I don't suppose you sensed any more of these things, Agnes?
Just the one.
Nope, just this one. And it was not as clear as the other one, and not nearly as large.
Maybe someone saw him talk with the dragon. I mean, she's not easily hidden.
That could be.
We are pretty close to some dunes. Someone could have hit there.
I can try my Cronus again and just have a look around.
Well, think about this. If we're seeing a trail, we started with Ivar's massacre and Duke's reaction. Then we see his getting the lady's help to put an end to it afterwards. So maybe if we follow the direction we saw the lady fly off, maybe we can follow it and see what happened regarding her attempting to stop Kos and Kindle.
It would still be smart to kind of see the area, see if anyone saw it, because if anyone saw it, they might see it as a treacherous thing, and
Absolutely, but I think that after that, there's a trail of breadcrumbs we can follow that we need to remember we can follow.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's check out this area first.
So we do.
So you check the rest of the place thoroughly, but you find nothing more.
And then we follow the dragon. Or,
Or
well,
the
the memory of
direction.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can only follow her for a short while, then basically the height distance, because she's flying upwards and away. But you can tell that she is flying towards Amau, when she vanished, she's flying towards that island.
There's a place I don't want to go.
What will that look like in the dreaming?
A nightmare, most likely.
It's the direction she's going, so if you want to see the confrontation, then...
And considering who resides there, we might get some more important memories.
We just must be extra careful going there, especially
if they're in the dreaming too and hanging out there.
Especially you two, and Jasmine looks particularly at Jonas and August. If anyone with ties to the Shadow Court see you there while we're in here, they will come for you both and they will kill you without hesitation.
Yeah. We'll have to be careful, definitely. And we have a long trek ahead of us.
So you head back in towards the city and towards Amma?
Yes.
All right.
I imagine it takes a while.
It takes a couple of hours to get back in there again, like it took a couple of hours to get out here. So yeah, about
night time or early morning.
Yeah, it'll be nighttime by the time you get there.
We almost need like some torches, medieval style.
You could come back the following day if you want to.
Wouldn't it be smarter to do this in the morning?
Yeah.
Common sense. What would common sense say?
That running around in enemy territory in the middle of the dead of night when you don't know the lay of the land and they do is probably not the smartest move you could ever make.
Hey, who said we had to be smart? We're teenagers.
Yeah, but speaking from personal experience, teenagers aren't always dumb in their decisions.
No, just slightly, sometimes.
They are impaired when it comes to thinking about consequences. But
so I think Jasmine agrees with August that we should maybe settle down somewhere relatively safe and just wait out the night.
We could just return to the waking world and come back tomorrow.
That's still a 2 hours walk back to the Throd.
Exactly.
It might be 2 hours walk, but compared to the alternative and actually have someone jumping us through the night in here, I wouldn't want that. I'd prefer the walk.
Me too. I don't want to know what's in here after dark.
Alright.
Okay. So we'll make our way back to the Trod then.
Yes. So you move back towards the Trod where you originally got in, and that's fine. You can get there.
That's just a good point. I don't know if the geography of the dreaming is really that consistent compared to the real world, but if it would it theoretically be closer to get to the Trod at what's it place?
No, that's further away.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So yeah, you get, but it's a good thought. It's definitely a good thought. But you get to the Trod in question and you get out. The Duke is sitting there when you get back. He's sitting. It's in his office after all. And he's behind his desk with what looks like a glass of cognac, waiting for you guys to come back.
Does he actually look like he's been waiting for us?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hello again.
You look like you've been waiting for us.
I have. I'm interested in hearing what you've learned, if anything.
We saw a few things.
Well, a few things is better than no things.
Tomorrow we plan on following the lady to Amma to see what goes on there.
I can't really recommend going there for obvious reasons.
It can't be worse than seeing a satyr burned alive.
Oh. So that's a memory that's preserved there, is it?
And you're being hit by a spear?
I tried to stop him. He wouldn't listen.
No, we saw.
That was when I realized that it wasn't really him, it was the dragon.
The dragon?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Like, could Kindle affect him in that way?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that the same thing they've been talking about, that the lady's outmost hatred at the moment is the thing affecting the city?
Yeah. So I suppose that opens up the next question. What is rightfully hers?
According to her, all of Jutland.
Well, I guess that one right.
Yeah.
I'm not in a position where I could justify fighting a war to liberate us here from Swedish rule if I had just handed over Jutland to a dragon. But I had to stop Kindle.
Yeah, that's what I got from your plea to her.
That creature was evil incarnate.
I would wager that she isn't much better, but at least she... I don't know. There was a definite difference in the way those two worked.
The point is that we know whether it's justified or not, whether it's true or not, that the lady appears to have a motive for her evil acts. From what we've seen, Kindle just enjoyed it.
Exactly.
Just enjoyed.
Kindle was a sadist. She's power mad. Kindle
we heard that.
Kindle liked hurting people.
And you think that bled over into...
Yes.
Because... Why did he stay sort of different after it?
After Kindle was killed, he returned to... I won't say that he returned to normal, to what he had been, but pretty close.
He mellowed out a bit.
A lot. And it was like getting my old friend back with some extra war trauma thrown into it. And he didn't want to talk about what had happened during the war, and I didn't want to talk about what had happened during the war because, quite frankly, it was awful. And we had enough work on our hands. I had enough work on our hands because not him. I had enough work on my hands trying to create a stable society in Denmark after what had just happened. I couldn't bring myself to kill Ivar because I honestly believed that it was the dragon's influence. It wasn't until 25 years later or more, when he had a son. It was actually quite a bit longer. He had a son, and when he grew up, when he got older and he began to learn what his father had been a part of, he wanted nothing to do with it. And little by little, Ivar began slipping and losing himself again. Until finally one day he took off after his son out of the country. And that's the last I ever saw of him.
But didn't you say he returned and wouldn't talk about what happened?
Did he do that?
I didn't see him come back. He didn't come back.
Okay.
I suppose it covers both of them.
Yeah, it does. And to be honest with you, by that time, I wished only one of them would have come back, and that would have been his son.
Can't really blame his son for not wanting to have anything to do with that.
I grew up with Ivar. We were like brothers in every sense of the word except biology. And to have to admit to yourself that the person that you trust the most in the entire world, the one person in whose hands you would gladly and willingly and unquestioningly place your life because you would feel safe in doing so, to have to admit to yourself that that person is a mass murdering madman, I couldn't do it. I couldn't face it.
It's not too presumptuous to say so, Your Grace. I do feel for your loss and hardship. Everyone always loses something in war. Especially one as terrible as what we've seen.
If I may make a suggestion.
I'm listening.
All of this will clearly pass down through the family line. If you want your daughter to be equipped to take over, you really should tell her what's going on.
I will. All of this nonsense she deserves to know. And to make her own decisions. I need you to do me one favor.
What is that?
I need you to take this, he says, and takes out a small box. It's about the size of it's a jewelry box basically in size. I need you to take this to Duchess Valentina, please.
And I'll do that for you.
Thank you. The history of this city is sordid indeed.
That much has become clear.
Certain overused Shakespeare quote springs to mind.
Something rotten in the state of Denmark?
Indeed, Your Grace.
Yes, that seems particularly appropriate here, doesn't it?
Combined with what goes around comes around.
Yes, now that we're on the issue of Shakespeare quotes.
Well, I think I think we are happy to honour to fill your favour, and we will, as we've said, continue to chase up what we can. The dreaming, we will do our best to be careful, considering where we plan to go.
I would certainly suggest that, yes. Going to Amma is, well, I would say it is too great of a risk.
Maybe. But I just feel that we can't learn everything we need to unless we take that risk. And besides,
then I would offer one piece of advice.
Don't get eaten.
Wait until Pride. The whole city is going to be one big party that day. Everybody is going to be out in the streets. Nobody will notice if you go to Amma that day.
That's a good idea.
Yes. Very, very sound suggestion. Thank you, Gray.
Jonas looks a little crushed at that.
Oh, he wanted to go to Pride.
Specifically, he wanted to go to Pride with his mother.
I mean, you are a she, and you could always have that excuse if you want to leave it to the peasants to do the job for you.
He wouldn't do that.
Okay.
It's just, I think it's the weight of responsibility wearing on him.
Yes. The burdens of being nobility.
Nothing to say we can't eat a little bit of the glamour from the start of the parade and then go around noon. Thoughts, Emma?
All the stuff we had to see needed a lot of glamour.
Speaking of glamour, I could use a top up.
Right.
Let's go and.
Me too.
Let's go and see if we can't do that and see about taking this box to the Duchess. We have some time to prepare before Pride then.
Yeah, we do.
Then, by your leave, your grace, we will excuse ourselves.
Of course.
Okay. I think then we shall leave his office then. At least Jasmine. Well, I can't speak to the others. I mean,
No, we're totally squatting here now.
Yeah, it's just squat here.
Never leaving. Like, no.
Teenagers.
Let them in, they're never leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think definitely Jonas turns on his heel and leaves.
Yeah. That's a Zayder following him.
Yes.
Jonas. Bloody hell.
I agree with that one.
I didn't realise that we'd invited Leatherface to this game. Brought his
Of course
chainsaw
we
with him.
did. Everyone's welcome.
Yes, because every World of Darkness games needs more chainsaws in it.
Of course.
I think Jasmine, as soon as we're outside, was actually look to Jonas and say, "Are you actually going to be okay? This has probably taken a lot out of you."
And Jonas turns around and punches the wall. Ow.
Yeah, I was about to say, the wall isn't actually, the wall doesn't surrender.
It doesn't seem impressed either.
Not terribly.
This. Hey, at least it's not a dread gazebo.
That's exactly it.
True. I think.
How about I take this jewelry box to the Duchess and you guys take care of our friend here? We don't need all to be at Valentina's to deliver this little thing.
I would like to come along to the last leader I still have respect for, if that's all right.
Yeah, it is. It was just with that attitude towards the wall, I was just afraid that you might say or do something that wasn't as etiquette-esque.
Well, she can sour up a storm herself.
Just give me like a minute to take some deep breaths, or recover my hand because ow.
Yes.
Yeah, look at. I get getting angry and frustrated, but that really sounded like it hurt.
This whole thing is a mess. And now he's talking about mind control and supernatural personality changes, and that just makes the whole thing that much harder.
I mean,
Well, we've seen personality changes before.
and in regards to supernatural, we are Fae. I mean, how many years ago was it that none of us even knew the first thing about any of this?
Right, but the whole thing was much more black and white when he was just a mass murdering psychopath without the influence of a dragon.
Yes, well,
Nothing is never as easy as it looks.
No matter what excuses you get from the Dutch, the Duke, or whatever, they're not good enough. Nothing is good enough for what they did.
No.
I agree. After all, you put down a rabid dog as well.
I mean, even if he was a lunatic, he did have a point when he said there is no honor in war. War is never pretty. War is never something beautiful or to be sought after. People die, it's horrible.
Well, to use the rabid dog metaphor, when you got a rabid dog and it kills things or destroys things, then who's to blame? The owner of the dog or the dog? Because I'd say the owner is at least as guilty as the dog is.
Unless it's a wild dog.
Doesn't matter if you're the owner of it and you release it on the world and do not put it down, then you're to blame.
I agree.
The Duke cannot excuse himself from this, which is probably why he keeps it all a secret.
Which is probably why the Duchess got mad.
it's difficult, and maybe they deserve to be held account. They do deserve to be held accountable for the things that have been done, but at the same time, have we considered what the alternative will be? If the Duke is unseated and, God forbid, Elizabeth isn't ready or is made more vulnerable by her taking up the mantle, do you think the Shadow Court will wait for this opportunity at bloody revenge to pass them by?
No.
Of course not.
As much as we may disagree with the man, as much as we may feel bad for things he has done, they have made some pretty serious mistakes. If we can't afford to let him die or get place, it'll be chaos. That's the problem with the situation we're in, with having she in charge, is that as horrible as it may be that they get there, sometimes it's necessary to have them there.
At least for now.
For now.
Right. Let's go.
Yes.
How badly did you mess up your hand?
It's a little sore, but I don't think I broke anything.
Good.
That's a good point. Is what was the wall he hit made of?
Bricks.
Okay, it doesn't need the attention of a chimerical plasterer then.
No.
That's good. It sounds like the most boring job in the universe, actually. All this wonderful. I'm the wall plasterer. Okay, so where are we heading to first?
Winter Court.
Winter Court.
We have a box to give to the Duchess.
So you get out of the summer court and you head towards the winter one instead.
Yes.
Something has occurred.
By the way, while you're heading there, you realize, Jasmine, you get a very delayed text message, one that you couldn't receive while you were in the dreaming for obvious reasons.
Yes.
from a certain werewolf saying that you should have peace and quiet at your restaurant now.
Oh, fantastic. Shahis is safe for now.
That's good to hear.
Yes. I don't know what inspired them to go in there then of all times, but, well, it'd be nice to know that I can actually go back and help my parents out. I don't want to have to just leave them in there like that again. They mean too much to me.
If you want to go and see them, it is as August said, we don't need everyone to deliver the box.
If you really don't mind, I should go and check on them. Obviously, my mom was. They did something to her. I need to go and see that she's all right.
Right, sure.
Do you need company, or would you rather go alone?
I mean, I don't know how safe it is at night at the moment, but if all of you prefer to stick together, I don't mind going alone.
No, I can go with you.
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should be walking alone anymore.
No. You two be careful.
Well, if nothing else, I've got my hockey stick of doom.
That's actually a fitting name for it.
Mm-hmm.
Kinda happy you haven't had to use it yet.
Well, well, not killed anyone with it yet, thankfully.
So you split up basically.
Mm-hmm.
We split the party. We all died. Oh no!
Oh, no.
I mean, we haven't before. We haven't all died yet, but
No.
That's because we're in the upstart.
Well, let us deal with the going to the Duchess first.
Yes.
So those who go there, you end up at the Winter Court as normal. There is nothing to stop you from getting there.
And then we head for the Duchess chamber. Does she have like a person outside?
No, she's actually out of her chamber. She's actually in the common room. So
Is that rare here, or is it pretty normal?
No, not particularly.
I guess it would get boring sitting in there all day.
Yeah, precisely. She's out there talking to this girl.
Oh.
So,
Well,
yes.
Jonas at least walks over and says, "Your Grace," and then waits for her to acknowledge his presence.
And it's, they take a few more seconds just to finish off the sentence that they were in the middle of, and then the Duchess turns her head and looks towards you, all of you, and says, "Yes, how may I help you today?"
We bring a message from the Duke.
Oh, I see. Well, what is the message?
I step forward and give her the box.
A strange look runs over her face as you do so, but she takes the box and looks into it. And her face goes very serious. And she says, "I see. Thank you. I suppose that you have no idea what this is?"
No.
None whatsoever.
Nope.
She opens it and takes out a rather plain-looking silver ring, which she puts on her right hand ring finger. And she says, "Well, this is the seal of the city." So he's basically just handed over he's handed over control of, well, formal control of Fey matters to me. He's supposed to do that every 6 months. It's been 3 years since I've last had this ring in my hand.
Seriously?
Yes.
Finally.
Then he says something incoherent. It's obviously swears, and it's obviously not in Danish.
In Portuguese?
Yes.
Well, in that regard, do you think you have a moment of spare time that I can talk to you in private, Your Highness?
Absolutely. Certainly. Let's go to my chambers. Just the two of us?
Yeah.
Of course.
Somewhere whispering of Mother Hen Jasmine, who is not there, just saying, August, don't be a tit in front of Duchess. Or something, because he's already proven he has.
So yeah, no, she heads to her office and lets you in as well.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah, and she closes the door behind you and turns around and sits down in her reclining chair and looks very intently at the ring with a frown on her face, and then she looks up at you and says, "So, what can I do for you?"
Well, actually, it's not so much what you can do for me. It's more what I can do for you.
Oh, this sounds interesting. For obvious reasons.
Yeah, well, as you know, the other she in my motley has already been squired to the summer court.
That is correct, yes.
What I am proposing is that I give my, out of free will, complete loyalty to you as a champion of winter. If nothing else, because of my house's predisposition, then it will grind the Duke in all the wrong ways.
That is putting it mildly, yes. There's this. She cannot hide the smirk that I've got on my own face right now as she says so. She's like, no, that is very true.
Of course, there's some egotism in it for me, because I want to prove that I am not my family. I want to prove that I am the ears and everything else that comes with being a she is worthy of that, because some ancestors of mine chose banality and humanism over us. Doesn't mean that I have to be one of them.
You know, I think I like your way of I like your moxie, you know. It's bold and I like that. Obviously I can't start by throwing a knighthood after you immediately. You're going to have to be squired like everyone else, but that's still a title.
I didn't expect you to, so it's just me actually volunteering to be of winter.
Yes.
Through and through.
Yes. Could you stay here for just a moment? Just give me a second.
Of course.
She sticks her head out and gestures for someone out in the room, and a moment later the satyr that she'd been talking to moments before comes in. And she sits back down and says, "So, Suzanne, you don't have a squire, and as far as I know, you've never had one." And the satyr in question shakes her head and goes, "No, that's completely correct. I don't, and I haven't had." And she looks over at August and says, "Well, you do now. And I do expect you to treat him well. He's... Let's just say that I think there's something in his future." And the satyr she nods and goes, "Of course, if that's your wish, Your Grace, then I shall absolutely do so." And she looks over to you and says, Well, I suppose we're a team then.
Sure. I don't mind.
She grins crookedly and says, I do know your reputation. There's one thing I'm going to have to insist on.
And that is?
You don't steal from any of the shops along the street. They're mine.
Don't worry. I won't do that.
Good.
Because why shit why you eat?
Exactly. That's a very good way of looking at it. It's a very good way of looking at it. What else? What you do apart from that? Well, obviously there is such a thing as, nobility and certain rules and so on. So I think, she says and looks at the Duchess, I think I'm now supposed to tell you to stop stealing entirely. And I'm also going to tell you that obviously I am in no position where I can police you, so I expect you to police yourself.
So, in other words, what you're telling me, don't let me get caught?
Yes.
It isn't cheating if you're not getting caught.
If you can avoid getting caught, I don't care. If you do get caught, I'm going to have to slap your wrist.
That's only fair.
All right? We've had robber barons before.
Well, when I get a little older and actually get a proper income, I might not have to steal.
Well, I might be able to help you with that as well, she says. You're pretty handy in a fight, are you not?
Yeah, and then some.
I could do with another good bouncer.
A bouncer?
Yeah?
Yeah, sure, why not? To get to hit people.
I'll pay well.
That's stealing.
Sure. She extends a hand.
Yeah, take it.
Yep.
I
I foresee a profitable relationship, she says and grins.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So, the Duchess smirks and watches this exchange, and then she looks back to you and goes, So I guess that means... Yeah. I've got an awful lot of work to do, so if you two wouldn't mind giving me some time and space, because I have a ring on my hand and it's weighing down my arm already.
Of course, Your Grace.
Right. Very well.
Bows flourishly and steps out.
Yes. And I think we're going to take our second break there, and then we're going to be back with a short final part where we are going to find out what happens with the two who went to the restaurant.
Coolio.
All right. And we will be right back.